first met him, Jared was a heavily muscled young man who favored dark clothing with oversized hoods, his face set in the emotionless mask of the prison yard. His writing, though, crackled with emotion and furious intellect, page after page of cramped longhand, as if there were not paper enough in the world for all he had to say. While his first text jolted me out of half-sleep into confusion, as the next few came in and I started waking up, I began to catch on. Something had inspired Jared to pick up a thread in a running conversation, neglecting the formality of a transition or hello. Now, the time is at hand and we must do our part. Just don't play with the shit, 'cause I'm serious about it. Jared knew I was in the thick of writing this book. He had been generous with his time and insight when I'd asked to interview him. Don't get sidetracked, sister. Don't fail. No matter how many years had passed since his incarceration, the urgency had not faded for Jared, nor had the pressure lifted. You keep pushing and pushing until you die. Jared had been in trouble with the law since 4th grade. That was when his mother's addiction finally overwhelmed her capacity to care for him. Cast out on his own, the 9-year-old quickly allied himself with a troop of other children who were living life solo. By day, they ran errands for drug dealers. At night, they pooled their earnings and piled into a shared room in a single-room occupancy hotel in San Francisco's Tenderloin district. Jared was done with all that now, working a steady job, engaged to be married, and a devoted father to his 2 children. He'd been keeping his head up, but he still had 2 strikes on his record under California's notorious 3 strikes law. A single misstep could send him back to prison for good. I trust you, and trust for me is hard. Just write the truth. Jared had struggled in the years since his release. His ex-offender status had stymied his efforts to find work and housing and get onto his feet, and a lifetime of trauma had set his temperament at a low boil. But now he was doing well. A kid who had lived out his teenage years under the motto, I don't give a fuck. An existential cry I would hear many times as I spoke with others who had been locked up as kids. He had grown into a man with something to live for, people he loved and could count on, who loved and relied on him in turn. Do what's right and got you back, bud. Know that I am living it. Jared was acutely aware of how vulnerable his closest relationships left him. The connections that sustained him held the potential to shatter him should that 3rd strike fall. The intensity of his drive to see genuine transformation in our nation's merciless justice system, to close down the brutal institutions where he had come of age, came from a sense of personal jeopardy as well as collective injustice. He had paid his own debt many times over. The time, as he put it, was at hand. He was ready to be free. Do what's right. Just right now. Right. Introduction. Caging men like animals, then expecting them to become better men, is fallacious. Earl Warren. Curtis had mixed feelings when he learned he was headed for the California Youth Authority, terrified and petrified. A sprawling system of violent and poorly managed state institutions, the Youth Authority was home to California's most serious juvenile offenders and, at the time, held wards as old as 25. Curtis was 10 years old. I met Curtis on a brisk fall afternoon soon after his release. 16 by then, he was sitting on a bench in a leafy courtyard outside the restored Victorian that housed the Oakland-based Mentor.